from Sportsnet LA, brought to you by Jack in the Box, as the Rockies come here for the first time in 2019, and the Dodgers try to continue this great homestand. As we say welcome inside, Joe Davis or Hershiser. Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. Doesn't it seem like it's been forever since the Dodgers have seen the Rockies? You got to go back to the first road trip of the season. Rockies got off to a tough start this year, but since the 3-12 beginning, these are the two best teams in the National League.
The Rockies think this is a competition. Dodgers need to squash that idea. They need no game 163 this year, and the Rockies are trying to climb back in it in this series.
So the Dodgers having won 8 straight against the Rockies back to last season, including that game 163. We're going to get a chance to see dueling on base streaks in this game and in this series. The two longest in the National League. Blackman a 30-gamer, Muncy 29.
30 games is not Charlie Blackman's longest. He's had a 32 back in 2016, but he is about as hot as you can get. And 10-game hitting streak also going on right now, hitting 500, 7 home runs over that time, 16 RBIs. But on the other side, only one tick away from him with 29 games reaching on base, Max Muncy. Not a surprise. This is the guy who led the Dodgers last year in home runs and slugging, and this year is continuing to be one of the most consistent and integral parts of this offense.
And so two of the top offensive teams in baseball in this series, and for the Dodgers, the responsibility on shutting down the Rockies side of that equation tonight will be Walker Buehler.
Walker Buehler has been electric. A June to remember for him. He's got a shot at pitcher of the month, what he's doing. 22 innings, only 1 earned run, striking out everybody, walking hardly anybody. The fastball's electric, the chase is going up, and the slider and the cutter can put people away.
Yeah, one of the memorable performances of his rookie season was the game 163 win against the Rockies. A rematch not just of the teams, but of the pitchers. Buehler for the Dodgers, Germán Marquez for the Rockies, and first pitch coming up.
And now, the starting lineup for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Presented by 76. And it's Jones.
By Jack in the Box. Try Jack's $4.99 spicy chicken strips combo only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Dodgers and Rockies about to play game 1 of this weekend series, but for now it's time to go on the field. Brought to you by BioFreeze with Alana Rizzo.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. The Dodgers making another roster move before the game today. Actually, Josh Sborz, who was just making his big league debut yesterday, has been placed on the IL with lower back tightness. And Matt Beatty, who was originally optioned back to Oklahoma City, well, he is back here now and back here at the big league level starting today as well, guys.
All right, Alana, and so the bench is back to full strength as far as numbers. There are 4 available for Dave Roberts off of the bench tonight as they get ready to open this series behind Walker Buehler. And Walker will have his hands full with this Rockies lineup tonight. Number 1 in baseball in many offensive categories. It's got Charlie Blackmon, the hottest hitter in baseball, at the top of it. And then David Dahl hitting second, starting in left field. Nolan Arenado's the third baseman hitting third, and I promise I'm going to give you words to go along with these words in a moment. Daniel Murphy's hitting cleanup. Ryan McMahon, the second baseman, out of the 5 spot. And center fielder to be Ian Desmond hitting 6th. Shortstop Brendan Rodgers out of the 7th spot. Tony Walters does the catching and hits 8th. And German Marquez pitches and bats 9th. Walker Buehler, last 3 starts. That's the month of June. He's given up 1 run in 23 innings.
He's been striking out a lot of guys, walking very few. He does have a challenge in front of him tonight, but the thing that has really done well for him lately is getting people to chase at his high fastball. But that's a combination of being able to get the curveball over, the slider over, and the cutter over, and then getting ahead and getting the high fastball chase. Look for him to use that here against the Rockies.
So good lineup today, but it was a good lineup that he saw his last time, and he took a no-hitter into the 6th against the Cubs and finished that game off 7 shutout innings, just 2 hits against him. The Dodgers 6-2 on this homestand and a major league best 51-25 overall. Off we go with Blackmon taking a strike, 0-1. The Rockies coming off a 3-game sweep of the Diamondbacks. They've won 7 of 10. And since started the season 3-12, they're 37-22. That's second in the league behind just the Dodgers. Charlie Blackmon ahead 2-1. He's reached in 30 games in a row. And besides reaching base in all 30 of those, he's hit for a ton of power as well, leading the league in slugging during that time. Here it's 2-2. Closed captioning brought to you by Howard's Appliances, your appliance specialists. That on-base streak interrupted by quick IL stint. And there's some around the Rockies that think that that was the perfect thing for Charlie, who is a notoriously hard worker. Puts in extra hours in the season. The grind of the season can be tough on him. Buehler retires him with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball to open this night.
5 pitches, 4 fastballs and a cutter. Walker Buehler will throw the fewest amount of off-speed pitches of any starter in the National League. 11% of the time he changes speeds. The rest of it, you're going to get something hard.
And one of the hardest fastballs in the league. 1 gone. Here's David Dahl. Strike 1. It is seemingly up and down this lineup that you find hitters that are not just having good seasons, but they're particularly hot right now. And Dahl is one of those guys. It's a breaking ball hit gently to second. Max Muncy. And look who's playing at first. Jock Peterson catches that throw. 2 out. Rest of the defense looks like this with Peterson in left field, Verdugo in center, Bellinger in right. Turner's at third, Taylor's at short, Muncy the second baseman, and initially it was Matt Beatty in the lineup as the first baseman, but Jock Peterson, one day after he makes his first career appearance there, gets his first career start.
Out early again doing defensive work.
That is ball 1 on Arenado. Nolan Arenado having another fantastic season. 6th in the league in average. 2nd in RBIs. Fouls this one back, and it's 1-1. Guy is a machine.
For a long time, been one of the best players in the National League, one of the best players in the big leagues. Big long-term contract, and he is playing up to that level.
Yeah, the long-term deal that he signed was a surprise for many who thought that he would reach free agency, but prior to reaching it, 7-year, $260 million extension. Lifted to left, but not deep. Matt Beatty's there, and that is a 1-2-3 first inning for Walker Buehler. German Marquez signed an extension this spring, 5 years, $43 million, and got off to a start fit for that contract with a sub-3 earned run average in April. That included a game where he finished one base runner from a perfect game against San Francisco. But here in June, Oral, he's struggling.
He really is. He's struggling with the slider. He's struggling with the long ball.
Going to get it out on his first pitch tonight as Peterson pops up to Arenado.
He has an odd contrast to what's going on. He's given up 19 earned runs in his last 3 starts, but he also has 20 strikeouts. So it's either kind of all or nothing. He's either getting you out with a strikeout or he's giving up a bomb or a bunch of hits.
He'll face Verdugo. Marquez, 24 years old, out of Venezuela, who was top 5 in Rookie of the Year voting in 2017, and then set Colorado's single-season strikeout record last year. It's especially good down the stretch, and so that's why they chose him to start game 163. Did not go well for him. 4 runs over 4 2/3. He was tagged with a loss. Behind Verdugo, 2-0. That caught the corner, 2-1. Punch to left, base hit down the line. Alex Verdugo has the Dodgers' first hit of the night. It's a 1-out double.
What a sweet swing away from his pattern of where he hits the ball. There could have been a third baseman there, but he normally hits it a little farther around to the right. That ball was hit so hard he could have beat the shift with it.
So the Dodger offense trying to pick up where it left off against San Francisco, scoring 9 runs in 3 games in a row. And here's Turner. Had a big hand in that, going 3 for 5 last night. Fouled off, 0-1.
The Dodgers almost hit 400 in that series. They almost had an on-base percentage of 450.
Jarring because the previous 2 weeks were as sluggish as we've seen from the offense. As a team, they had a 6-6 stretch and scored just about 3.5 runs per game during that time. Marquez to Turner, and Justin flips one to shallow right. Charlie Blackmon. Defense for the Rockies, presented by Keck Medicine of USC. Dawn in left, Desmond in center. You just saw Blackmon making that play in right. Arenado's the third baseman. The rookie Rogers starts in short with Trevor Story on the injured list. McMahon the second baseman. Daniel Murphy's at first, and Tony Walters does the catching. With 2 gone and a scoreless first inning, here's Cody Bellinger,
who rescued the game last night with his throwing arm and not from the outfield, being moved into first base.
Swings and misses, strike 1.
moved him into first base. Hadn't been there in a while. A bunt situation, a very short bunt towards first base that he reacted really well to. Picked it up, gunned to third, and by an eyelash cut down the lead runner.
First time he'd played there in 2 months.
Wherever you play, Cody, it's got a gold glove caliber defender. The arm. Right now he's a silver slugger that they can't figure out what to throw.
That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Do we have to? Do we have to throw something to him?
Wow.
Here's that play we were talking about last night. I mean, the instincts to be able to make this play at a position that he's not played in 2 months. Incredible.
The bunt was shown. He broke, and he broke instantly without the anticipation, and then the route, and then the guts to throw it to third with a very strong arm. It was an exceptional play, a game changer.
Giants were really upset in the postgame talking about that play. Ball and a strike on Bellinger. Bruce Bochy as upset as he's been all season, it sounds like postgame. Buster Posey was outspoken about he said, lack of accountability and the process with replay. One ball and 2 strikes, which seemed like kind of some cumulative frustrations because it didn't look clear that he was safe.
No, it didn't look clear. You couldn't. Justin Turner, as he's stretching, his foot is kind of guarding the runner's leg coming into the base, and you could not. And since the call on the field was out, the call stood. If the call on the field would have been safe, I don't think the Dodgers would have got it reversed.
But they were able to get out of there with a 9-8 win in what was a very weird game. Felt like 3 games in one, you said.
Yeah, you know, it's after the 4th, it's 6-0 Dodgers, and it seems like it's going to be a laugher. Through the 7th and 8th, it kind of a little bit boring, and all of a sudden the 9th.
Bellinger swings and misses, all 3 strikes coming on Marquez's slider, and after 1, no score.
Well, 68 up on the scoreboard, but
maybe you should lose the sweater.
Well, I was following my iPhone.
That's ball 1 on Daniel Murphy.
Must be 63 in Pasadena.
Right. 63 in the booth. Heart of the order for the Rockies after Buehler went 1-2-3 in the first inning. 1 ball and 1 strike on Murphy. They signed to a 2-year contract this winter. And then he suffered a broken finger a couple days into the season. Missed much of the first month. Struggled in his first few days back, but like many of these hitters, has hit his stride and hitting .350 over the last month. Goes up to get this one, and a little pop-up that Chris Taylor sprints under, and foul ground makes the catch on what is not an easy play with where he started.
Ranging to his right. Usually with a shortstop, you're thinking about a ground ball in the hole, but he's ranging to his far right into foul territory to catch his pop-up. Not an easy sky right now, and not an easy place to catch it. You see, it surprised him a little bit there at the end. The depth perception is really hard with this sky right now.
1 gone. Ryan McMahon looks at a fastball strike. McMahon taking advantage of his biggest opportunity as a big leaguer. Part-time role each of the last 2 seasons, but at this point they're everyday second baseman. DJ LeMahieu now in New York playing for the Yankees, doing a great job. And McMahon entered this season sharing time there, but one of the many guys that has taken off. On an 0-2 from Walker Buehler. He's late on a fastball at 98. Walker's got it all working again so far tonight.
He's got it all working, but it's predominantly heaters. And wow, the first inning he was very economical. Only 11 pitches, got an out with 3 different pitches, the fastball, the slider, and the curveball. But right here, Powder River.
When the fastball looks like that, you don't need anything else.
Maybe the second time around the order. This is everybody's first blush at that fastball, so why trick them?
Desmond with the bases empty and 2 gone. Takes high, ball 1. I know you talk about anytime you could do that, you loved to just use your fastball at least once through the order and then start to sprinkle everything else in.
Start pitching when the opposing lineup forces you to. But until they've proven they can hit number 1, whether it's because of great movement or great velocity, and right now it's great velocity and 2 sides of the plate, and then elevating when he wants to. So it really is 3 pitches in 1. This is a different fastball than we saw at the beginning of the year. This is a different fastball almost every start this year as he continues to move into the progression of getting into this season. This one is farther down the hill and it's got more life at the end. He's closer to the hitter and he's accurate with it.
Desmond able to get a piece. It's like it jumps at the hitter at the last moment.
It's special. It's fun to watch.
And it's another night where very early on you start thinking, wow, okay.
It's about as early as you can get. 2 outs in the second.
But am I wrong?
Nope.
No hitter into the 5th against Arizona a couple starts ago. No hitter into the 6th against the Cubs. And if things go as planned and the stuff keeps looking the way that it does, there are going to be a lot of nights like this in Walker Buehler's career. I think that any night could be the night. Fastball gets him looking, and 6 up, 6 down for Walker Buehler, who throws 12 pitches in the second, all of them fastballs. Say was cheap, but a little bit. They were horrible the year before. Ownership in Brooklyn and Baltimore combined, and they put most of the good players in Brooklyn, and that was the result. They won their first pennant that year. German Marquez to Max Muncy. Off we go in the second with ball 1. So Blackmon struck out his first time up in his attempt to extend his on-base streak to 31. Here's Muncy, his first opportunity to extend his to 30. And in this 1-0 from Marquez, he pulls it into right and does just that. Like clockwork, Max Muncy, leadoff base hit.
Blackmon with a 10-game hitting streak. Muncy now with a 9-game hitting streak. Of course, yes, reaching base. He slugs, he hits homers, he gets on base. Pretty much the complete offensive player.
So the leadoff man on, and here's Matt Beatty. Crackbat up the middle. That is caught by Rogers, who then throws it by the first baseman Murphy. And the Dodgers going to catch a break here. They're going to say Muncy will get second. That ball got out of play.
Came back in a hurry, but I think it either went into the dugout and hit off the wall and came back on the field to play. Max was hung out to dry. Oh, as he gets out of the way, his left arm nicks the ball, and that ends up out of play and moving it up.
It's like a defenseman in front of the goalie, right? Just a little deflection to get it by him.
But Black out not arguing, but really just giving the bench some time to take a look at the replay.
What a job he's done, huh? As manager of the Rockies.
Takes a very patient and great baseball man to manage in Colorado. It's a different game, your home games compared to your road games.
It's in his 3rd season. He's taken them to back-to-back postseason trips after they had an 8-year drought. Of course, last year, 91 and 72, losing game 163, then winning the wild card game against the Cubs. And losing in the division series 3-0 to Milwaukee. So Muncy at third with one gone, and up comes Chris Taylor. Swings away at the first pitch and lofts it towards the right field corner. Charlie Blackmon to make the catch, but that is plenty deep enough to bring home Max Muncy, and they promptly take advantage of the two-base throwing error.
We probably won't say this again in the whole course of Max Muncy's career. His bat and his left arm scored the run. A right-handed thrower, but it was the left arm going up to protect himself from the throw back to first, where he was hung out to dry. That deflection gave him 180 feet over to third base. Sac fly scores.
So the Dodgers strike first, and here's Barnes with the bases empty and two gone, taking a strike. What a big day for Barnes, not just with the obvious fact that he had 3 hits, but that it came a few days after he implemented his new swing. Much simpler, much quieter, and his first 3-hit game since opening day.
His interview with Alana was revealing about some of the changes he's been making. As he said in one of the comments, about it's about getting into the ground and staying in the ground. And so eliminating the leg kick a little bit and getting that foot down sooner, but not only getting the foot down, but probably keeping his knee flex and keeping his angles so that the weight of his body is in the ground sooner, so he can feel that power and quickness.
Tries to check his swing but can't. Marquez gets him to go, and that's going to do it for the Dodgers here in the second.
Seen plenty of pitchers somewhere between 95 and 98 miles an hour. But what Walker is doing, his delivery is not that big of an illusion. It is mystifying, but it's mystifying for me because of the life on the fastball, not the delivery. It's not a herky-jerky motion. His delivery is pretty much the same speed as the ball coming out.
Brendan Rodgers leads off this inning. He's late on a fastball that was perfectly placed.
It's life and it's placement. 96 on the edge. He might throw another one out there, but the next one might move 3 or 4 inches to the left or right.
Jeez.
That's a really good miss. He was trying to go inner half. He missed all the way across the plate, but right on the edge at 96.
19 of his first 25 pitches have been that fastball. He's back home with an 0-2 to the rookie Rodgers, who fouls it off and will do it again. They saw these Rockies on that opening road trip of the season, limited them to a David Dahl home run over 5 innings, but this is a different guy than the Rockies saw. Different guy than anybody saw really over that first month, as he had the slow build up in spring training, and essentially his build up continued into the regular season. When you break it down at this point into 2 seasons for him, if you break it down first 7 starts versus last 7 starts, he had an ERA around 5 over the first half of this season. His ERA in his second half to this point, 1.57. An 0-2 pitch again is a breaking ball that's a little bit high, ball 1.
And those first 7 look like no way he makes the All-Star team, but combined with the next 7, this start included 3 more until they probably pick the staff. He's right in the equation, if not on the team. Just give me 3 solid starts like you've been throwing the last 7. He'll be joining Ryu and possibly Kershaw there.
Got ahead of Rodgers 0-2, having a bit of a tough time putting him away. Here's the 7th pitch. Back to the fastball and fouled again. And there are those numbers we were talking about. And beneath those numbers, dive a little bit deeper, it is a startlingly good strikeout to walk ratio. I mean, for a guy who has overpowering stuff, to pound the zone with it the way that he is has been remarkable. Goes to the slider there to get Rogers for the first out of the third, and already his 4th K.
Morongo slow-mo cam going to slow this slider down. Still trying to hit it in slow motion would be hard. What I love about this outing, yes, the ego of the fastball, but he knows he's got the cutter and he knows he's got the slider, and he's still trying to bring the curveball along.
The 8-hitter and catcher Tony Walters takes strike 1 with the fastball. There really are no breaks in this Rockies lineup this season because Walters, the catcher, has been exceptional. A .311 average, best among National League catchers. And that had been a weakness for him over the last couple of seasons in terms of batting average at the catcher position. In the case of Walters, he hit .170 last year. Oh, 2. Wow.
I guess it sounded low.
Might want to get his ears checked then.
That was like the perfect low fastball. No borderline left or right.
So why doesn't he just do that?
That's the curveball that will make nights really special. When he can go from 98 to 81 with that break. That's video game stuff.
And that's 4 consecutive Ks for Buehler. And strike 1 on Marquez, who won a Silver Slugger last year, hitting .300. Generous outside corner there, maybe making up for the missed low call, and it's 0-2.
Nice frame job by Austin Barnes.
He's perfect once through the order, and I mean perfect. 6 Ks for Walker Buehler through 3 innings, and it's 1-0.
Season 3 and 12. Of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers sweeping this club back in early April in Denver. The Rockies have won a lot of their games since April 14th, and the Dodgers just don't seem to lose.
All right, Alani, that 3-12 record for the Rockies out of the gates. That was the worst record in baseball 2.5 weeks into the season. The Bud Black's team digging its way out of that while they still trail the division by 10. If the season ended today, they would be in the wild card game. 9-1-2 for the Dodgers in the third. That's ball 1 on Walker Buehler.
After 16, the Dodgers were 8-8. They didn't have a hole to dig out of, but they weren't as hot as they are since then.
43-17 since that point. (51-25) overall by 6.5 games. That's the best record in the National League. That's fouled, and it's 1-2. They've got a chunk of Walters.
You can trade stories with Nolan Arenado. He's got a bad left toe.
One gone here in the third as Marquez gets his 3rd K.
Jock Peterson.
Back to the top for Jock Peterson. Popped up first pitch that he saw today, and his 3 of his last 38, although 2 of those 3 hits have left the yard, including his pinch hit 2-run home run last night. Another offensive explosion for the Dodgers. So they give up 8 runs in that game. Second most runs they've allowed all season, and they win. Living right. Ball 1. 2-0. That fades away, and it's 3-0. You know, as the Rockies made that run to the wild card game last year into the division series, their young starting pitching staff was such a big part of that story. And there are a lot of questions coming into this season. Could they repeat it? Well, thus far, the answer has been no in a big way. They've been the worst rotation in baseball. That's on the corner and a strike. And Jock's going to have to pick that bat back up. Kyle Freeland to finish top 5 in Cy Young voting. He's in AAA right now.
And struggling with his mechanics and his location. He's been walking a lot of guys down in the minors, but they're not worried about the results. They're worried about getting his delivery back together and his confidence.
On a 3-1, Peterson loads up and fouls it 3-2. John Gray has a .418 earned run average. That is the best in the Rockies rotation.
And the Rockies don't need to have the best starting staff in the big leagues to be a championship team. They just need some starting staff that's kind of middle of the pack or slightly above middle of the pack, because their numbers are going to get skewed at home.
Strike 3 called on Peterson. Take a long walk back to the dugout as Marquez is able to come back and get him after falling behind 3-0.
He's not going to be sending Chad Fairchild, the home plate umpire, any birthday gifts.
And that'll be fine, because I don't think Chad's sending Jock any. Here's Verdugo as one of the 2 hits in this game. A double in the first. One and one on Verdugo. On the next one, he swings and pulls the liner to a well-positioned Rogers to finish off the 3rd, and we go to the 4th in a 1-0 game. Walker Buehler once through the lineup with 6 Ks.
Electric fastball, mixing in either of the breaking balls when he needs it, but really right now he doesn't need them unless he just wants to embarrass the hitter.
And while he's had good numbers against the Rockies, especially lately, that game 163 win and 5 solid innings back in April, he didn't strike anybody out in game 163 against the Rockies. And he only had 4 when he saw him back in April. He gets strike 1 on Charlie Blackmon.
And right away, second time around the order, changing the sequence. So predominantly fastballs to Charlie in the first at bat. First pitch, cutter.
On a 1-1 pitch, Blackmon swings and pops it up on the infield. See if Peterson has room. This is a little more what he's used to, running under a pop-up and making the catch, and Blackmon the first out.
Number 26, David Dahl.
Walker Buehler contributing to Max Muncy catching Charlie Blackmon as far as the game's reach streak. Once he's already got his in his back pocket, Blackman's still looking for it.
David Dahl hacks the first one foul. So the Rockies have 1 run against Walker Buehler this season, and it came on a Dahl home run. David hitting .380 over the last month. Finally healthy and having that breakout season they thought was coming from the 25-year-old in his 3rd year. Leaves that one up, and it's 1-1.
Having a little meeting with himself back behind the mound right there after that breaking ball.
Roxon fires 2-1 and a check swing and a high fastball. It's 3-1. First 3-ball count Buehler has had is 3-1 is cut on and miss. A sharp cutter at 93 and it's 3-2.
Austin Barnes flashed a 1. I just think this ball cut on its own. He wasn't attempting to cut it, but it was an awesome one.
And now the payoff. Ground ball to Max Muncy. Able to battle back from 3-1 to get him 2 out. And it brings up Nolan Arenado, who's the only man to hit the ball out of the infield so far. And our Quicken Loans, our TD Ameritrade, the right call. His numbers since 2015 and his ranks in the National League. Over the last 5 seasons, nobody, not just in the NL, but in baseball, has hit as many home runs or driven in as many as Arenado. Leaves that one up, ball 1. And Nolan this season got off to a very slow start by his standards. And that corresponded almost identically with the Rockies' slow start. That is a towering fly ball to left field that sends Beatty to the wall. Off the top of the fence and gone. First base runner of the game for the Rockies is Arenado with a game-tying home run.
Hanging breaking ball that he picks on, and when it left the bat, you're just hoping he didn't hit it hard enough, because at this trajectory it looks like it should be a pop-up. Beatty fading back, runs out of room, and when it hits the top of the fence, glove getting stuck on the padding, but I'm not sure he would have reached it anyway. It's really a little thicker wall out there and tough to reach over.
19th of the season for Arenado, and we're tied at 1. Daniel Murphy hits this one to Muncy, able to get it on a short hop, throws him out, inning over. Rockies get their first run of the night and a home run from Arenado to the bottom of the 4th, locked at 1. For details. Tied at 1, bottom of the 4th, and Justin Turner to lead things off against German Marquez. Off-speed pitch for strike 1. Turner fly to right his first time and is 2 for 15 lifetime against Marquez. On an 0-1 pitch. That's a strike, 0-2.
That side of the plate has been generous so far tonight.
He goes right back there. It's bounced up the middle. McMahon with a nice play. Turner's the first out.
Number 35, Cody Bellinger.
So now Turner 2 of 16 against Marquez. Here's Bellinger, who is 2 of 18 against Marquez lifetime.
Cody didn't see a fastball on his first at bat. 3 sliders that he swung and missed at. 2 curveballs that he took for balls. We'll see if the sequence changes at all this at bat.
Yep. Fastball.
Marquez's fastball's no slouch either. That one at 96.
Surprising that it's hit at such a high clip. High 90s, good life to it, but opponents hitting above 300 against the heater.
I think his stuff plays up on the road and a little bit down at home. You know, you don't get the Same effect from the spin as far as on the curveball, the slider, and maybe the life on the fastball.
Here's his 1-1. Bellinger watches it miss. Ball 2.
An attempt at a changeup right there at 88. Just kind of pushed it. That's why it ends up kind of high and away.
Two balls, one strike. Bellinger lofts it foul, and it's 2-2. He's second in home runs behind Christian Yelich. He's now third in RBIs. Came in tied with Arenado, sitting at 60. So Josh Bell, Arenado, and Bellinger, top 3 in the league in runs driven in. Bug delay. Two. Cracked to center field. Desmond back on it. Cody Bellinger, number 25. And they serenade him with the MVP chance as he puts the Dodgers back in front of the 4th.
A target for an old hole, but this one leaks back. That hole doesn't exist anymore, but this one was right down the middle, and Cody hit it right back up the middle.
With a pretty easy looking swing. I mean, he didn't try to hit that ball out. Matching his total from a year ago, and now strike one on Muncy.
Chad Fairchild likes that side of the plate,
I guess,
whether it's a left-handed hitter or a right-handed hitter.
And he's letting Dave Roberts know, and somebody just got thrown out of the game.
I hope it's not Justin Turner. And Dave Roberts coming over here to explain the voices. How can you discern who yelled that at you and then throw somebody out?
And I think it is Turner. I think you're right.
And they only have 3 bench players tonight. Oh, they're up to 4 now with Beatty being called up. That's pretty sensitive for a man in blue to toss Justin, because that would be the first words out of his mouth, and nobody in the stands knows it.
We've seen some really good restraint from umpires this season, with some pretty strong arguments coming from both sides. That is the opposite end of that spectrum. It's Chad Fairchild, who has a really good reputation. He's been a full-time umpire since 2010. He's done the postseason a bunch. A quick trigger, it appears, on Turner. And now Fairchild gonna wait until Turner vacates the dugout. Justin still can't believe that it's him.
And that's what you should do if you're the player. Stay there and make him re-identify you. And Justin's even going to be madder when he goes in and sees it on TV and how liberal a strike call it was, that it wasn't over the plate. Not his or Max's. And signaling the safe sign there was no visit because of the delay.
Well, the bench for Dave Roberts tonight: Hernandez, Freese, Garlick, and Martin. Marquez to Muncy with an 0-1. That's foul, and it's 0-2. So Justin Turner ejected from this game in the 4th inning. With the Dodgers up 2-1 on Cody Bellinger's 25th long ball. Softly bounced to Brendan Rodgers. Muncy's out number 2.
It's a shock to see Justin get kicked out, and it's even a bigger shock to see how quickly it was. That was a very sensitive hook. We can't hear from up here, of course, what was said, But I have heard in person a lot of things said that people never get kicked out for. It's just kind of part of the game, and it seemed like that should have been just part of the game.
Here's Beatty with the bases empty, taking a ball, and Alana had a pretty good perspective of that exchange. Lana?
Guys, I'm sitting down here in my normal camera well position right next to where Justin Turner, Robert Van Scoyoc, and Brant Brown are always standing. And Justin Turner didn't say anything out of the ordinary to what I could hear or tell to have such a quick trigger from Fairchild on that call. Justin Turner continued to say, what are you going to write in your report? That I waved at you? And just a pretty quick trigger, but again, I can hear everything that was being said, and it didn't seem like he said much to me to warrant that ejection.
All right, Alana. Beatty hits it hard and will pierce the shift with a 2-out hit. Making sure that Blackman hurries it in. He'll hang on with a single. And we're just looking back at that moment between Turner and Fairchild. Justin waving. Look on Bellinger's face, said, huh? Who'd you? And again, like you mentioned, how can you pick out a voice, not even looking over there? There's a good chance he heard something that warranted an ejection, but that it didn't come from Justin Turner.
I've been down there in the dugout, watched guys get tossed that didn't say a thing, but it's kind of the last guy the umpire was mad at that gets picked at.
Taylor lifts the first one down the line to right. That'll become a souvenir.
Tommy Lasorda's voice was very distinctive, and the umpires knew when he was yelling, but pretty much everybody else on the team at the time when I was on the bench, you really can't discern whose voice it is.
Oh, 0-1 on Taylor. Drove in the first run of the game with a sacrifice fly in the second. His 8th run batted in his last 5. Behind here 0-2.
I've talked to umpires, and a lot of times in my day what would happen is they would antagonize the manager to come out, Tommy. And they would say to him, look, I'm throwing somebody out. I heard a voice. The guy's gone. Do you want to go?
Wow.
Because I'm not going to, one of your players or somebody's got to go. So instead of me picking somebody out, do you want to go? And Tommy would go, yeah. And then Tommy would start arguing, put the show on, and the guy would throw him out. And that was the way that the umpires were protecting the roster, and Tommy was protecting the roster.
That's like put a coin in him and watch him go.
Somebody's going. Somebody's going.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, do you want to go? Because I'm taking Guerrero, or I'm taking Sachs, or I'm taking Hatcher, or I'm taking Hershiser. And Tommy's like, no, I want to go. And he'd he'd put the show on.
He'd live for that moment, right?
Oh, yeah.
Another 0-2, and Taylor swings through it. That's that for the Dodgers in the 4th, but Cody Bellinger's 25th home run of the season puts the Dodgers right back in front. It's 2-1 as we go to the 5th at Dodger Stadium.
Only at Dodgers.com/Star Wars.
Check this thing out.
It is
as good as advertised.
Bad meaning good. It's really, really good.
Really cool.
And it's even better knowing the kind of year he's having pitching. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Untouchable bobblehead.
He looks like he's about to pull the gun out with his right hand and protecting his pitching arm.
Smart. Get a better look at him for you. Yeah. There we go.
Don't put his face like right by mine.
Fouled off 0-2 on McMahon.
Okay.
We'll do the bobbling. You're getting in the
getting in the way.
You get the idea. You should come get one.
It's cool. First day of summer, got my sweater on camera.
0-2 pitch. He went around, and strike 3 of Ryan McMahon to open the 5th, and for Walker Buehler it's his 7th. Some housekeeping to do with the ejection for Turner. The change defensively is for Max Muncy to move over to 3rd, and Kike Hernandez comes into the game at 2nd. And here's Ian Desmond. Well, the bottom 5 in the order for the Rockies is now a combined 0 for 6 with 6 Ks. Desmond fouls off a fastball 0-1. Punch to second. Peterson, awkward play, was headed towards the ball, and obviously one of his first innings in the big leagues at first base. Threw on the brake, saw that Kike was going to get there, and then got back to the bag in time to beat Desmond.
Wandering away, but having enough to get back there. Ended up being like a pitcher covering first as he ran the route back to the bag.
Which for him may be just as comfortable as acting like a first baseman covering first.
You know, as a base runner, you check your outfielders. You check to see how can I go first to third, where the outfielders is a blooper going to fall in if it goes to this position. Same thing as an infielder. You've got to check your corresponding players to see how much you can range and who needs to catch the ball. That's a big deal right there for Jock to learn that kind of stuff. Let's get the reps in now while we're double digits ahead in the National League West.
Buehler to Rogers with a 1-0 and an awkward swing and a miss, 1-1. You know, the thing that Jock Peterson has going for him is that he is an exceptional athlete. This guy was a star high school football player, as a wide receiver, in addition to obviously being one of the best baseball players in California. It's 1-2 with a fastball to the corner. And so as far as raw material, he's got it to be able to make a move like that and at least be passable. 2-2 on Rogers. And another strikeout for Walker Buehler. He's given up just one base runner over the first 5 innings. What a night he's having. Bookend K's here in the 5th. Halfway home at Dodger Stadium. And Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Get great deals on the all-new Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Electric during Toyota's Summer Savings Event. Dodgers 2, Rockies 1 to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Game 1 of this weekend series, with Austin Barnes to lead it off against German Marquez. Slider for strike 1. Ball and a strike. Marquez 5 Ks so far. Walks have been somewhat of an issue for him in recent starts. Hasn't issued any of those yet. Dodgers getting their 2 runs on 4 hits. On this 1-1 pitch, Barnes checks a swing, but a strike called, 1-2.
Marquez in a slump and trying to come out of it. That slump could be brought on by his home ballpark. Of his last 5 starts, 4 have been at home, and the other one was at Wrigley. So he's been in some offensive ballparks, and just like the Rockies' offensive numbers are skewed towards a lot more power and a lot higher averages at home, that can affect a pitcher too and get on a spiraling down effect compared to a spiraling up effect that the offense can get on.
1 gone in the 5th. Here's Buehler. Yeah, and there is ball 1. It's got to be so hard for a young pitcher yet to establish himself to break into the majors as a Rocky. The mental side of that.
It's one of the biggest jumps in the big leagues. You know, you'd say the easier, softer landing would be for a young offensive player to become a Rocky and move from AAA to the big leagues or AA to the big leagues. But to jump from a minor league pitcher with the Rockies to a big league pitcher for the Rockies is quite a jump. It almost feels like you're probably going up a level and a half.
But they have to get guys through their system to pan out, because it's almost impossible to sign free agent starters there. That's a strike, and it's 1-2. Who is going to choose to go pitch half their games at Coors Field?
The place that I can relate it to is Texas. They're building a new ballpark, but the current ballpark in Texas is such an offensive park with the wind blowing out the right and the jet stream and the heat. And I'll tell you, I was a pitching coach there for 3 years, and a little over 3 years, and finding pitchers that not only had stuff, but the character to put up with that environment was key. It's another component to finding pitchers that can succeed in that environment. Because you are not rewarded for all your best pitches. Sometimes they get blown out. Sometimes routine fly balls turn into home runs.
2-2. 2 out. Been a lot of talk about the Rockies perhaps trading for a starting pitcher or two. And here they are. If the season ended today, which obviously it doesn't for a long time, but right in the middle of the wild card picture. Division going to be tough for the Dodgers, already opening up the 10-game lead. But if they really want to fight for a wild card spot, the rotation is going to have to be a lot better. They've been by far the worst in baseball so far. But do they make a trade to bolster that rotation?
It's one thing to say you can stay in front of the Padres, the Giants, and the Diamondbacks, and don't worry about the Dodgers. It's another thing to be on top of the rest of the National League to get one of those wild card spots. When the East and the Central come into the equation, you might need to go shopping.
Peterson, 0 for 2 today. You know how I can't figure out is the San Diego Padres. Seems like every time you go a few days without checking what they're doing, they've totally changed what they're doing. It's a pop-up left side. Arenado will make the play, finish off a 1-2-3 inning. Most recently, the Padres hot. They've won 4 straight going into a series in Pittsburgh tonight.
The MLB All-Star Series. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, tonight after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
On to Cody Bellinger's solo shot. Dodgers with a 2-1 lead here in the 6th inning. Walker Buehler has given up just 1 base runner, but happened to be an Arenado home run. Tony Walters leads off this inning and takes a strike. 8 Ks over 5 for Buehler. His career high, in case you're wondering, came against the Rockies last year. Struck out a dozen. Season high is 11. One and two. And again, this is a lineup that, since getting things right following the 3-12 start, has averaged 6.5 runs per game. Is hitting about 300 as a team. And Buehler's going right through him like a warm knife through butter on that inside corner, which has been a strike most of the night from Chad Fairchild. Not kind to him there. 2-2.
Muncie's ball was a little farther in than that one, and that one didn't get a call strike.
That one doesn't need a called strike. He gets a swing and a miss from Walters. 9 Ks for Buehler.
He's locked in one side of the plate or the other, and if the curveball gets locked in, like I said earlier, it is almost impossible to hit this young man.
A strike on Marquez.
Sheesh.
I love it. This is where you need picture-in-picture to have our faces every once in a while after a pitch. There's just not much you could say.
Or can I just say Droosh again? 10 Ks for Walker Buehler as he sits down Marquez. And the bottom 5 in the order for the Rockies tonight, 0 for 10 with 9 Ks. They haven't stood a chance.
And you know what? He's striking out that many people, and his pitch count's only at 69. That tells you even more how efficient he's been.
Third time through the lineup now. Here's Blackman. Still trying to extend that 30-game on-base streak, which for the moment is tied with Max Muncy for the longest in the league. On a 1-0 pitch, Blackman takes a strike. Some of the folks around the Rockies say that they haven't seen anything like this in a long, long time as far as how hot Blackman has been for this long a stretch. Lifts this ball to deep right field. Bellinger to the corner. Tie game. On base streak extended, and the game tied at 2 as Charlie Blackman hits his 18th.
Arenado hit it on a curveball. Blackman hits it on a fastball. Both hit it at a very high trajectory to one of the shallowest parts of the ballpark. Blackman right down the line here in right field. Arenado to left field. Long, high, arcing fly balls. 2 hits, 2 home runs.
And a 2-2 game. Buehler to Dahl with a 1-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball foul, and it's 1-1. So Charlie Blackman, not just the on-base streak, but now an 11-game hitting streak where he's hit 8 home runs. Dahl to left. Beatty, does he have room? Looks like it in the corner. And the side is retired, but the Rockies tie it back up on Blackman's home run. To the bottom of the 6th, it's 2-2.
Cody Bellinger as well as Jock Peterson are the 2 Dodgers representatives that could be starters for the outfield for the 2019 Midsummer Classic. Charlie Blackman received the 4th most votes among outfielders. These are the 9 guys that will compete, 3 of which will get starting spots. Now the starters election begins on Wednesday, June 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern. It ends on Thursday, the 27th at 4 p.m. Eastern. So Dodgers fans, you can go and vote to see if Jock Peterson or Cody Bellinger could be one of the 3 starting positions in the outfield.
All right, Alana, first year, of course, of that voting format. Bottom 6 tied at 2. 2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers, and ball 1 on Alex Verdugo. Well, we go from a weird and winding game last night that really felt like 3 games within 1 to kind of a tidy one tonight. Locked at 2 in the 6th. A tidy one where strikeouts have been the story. 17 of the 33 outs recorded in this game, of the first 33 outs, strikeouts. Verdugo in the driver's seat here. 2-1. Chase there, 2-2. Something Alex does at a lower rate than any other hitter in this lineup. 1 for 2 tonight. Leading off the 6th in a tie game, and on a 2-2, he pulls it sharply to McMahon. 1 gone.
You know, mentioning the 2 types of games that we've had last night and tonight, one of the things I appreciate about this Dodger team, as dominant as they've been this year, when they do get in these tight games, they don't look like they have not exercised that muscle. They don't look like the dominate team, the boom or bust team that all of a sudden you get in a tight game and they don't know how to play that type of game. They look like a complete team.
First at bat for Kike Hernandez, who fouls it off, and it's 0-1.
No matter what type of game they're in, they look like they can take care of it. They understand productive outs now. They understand no chase. They understand putting the ball in play. They got the long ball. They got the RBIs.
Fly to right, but not deep. And Charlie Blackman will retire Hernandez, who, just to reiterate, if you happen to just be joining us, is in the lineup at this point in Justin Turner's spot. Turner was ejected by home plate umpire Chad Fairchild, and we're still not sure why. It looked like a little wave and hello got him thrown.
Somebody on the bench said something. It wasn't Justin, and then as Fairchild looked over there, Justin kind of waved at him like, yeah, we're over here. And it's going to be an interesting report to the league that somebody got kicked out for waving at an umpire.
Bellinger looks at strike one. His home run gave the Dodgers a short-lived 2-1 lead. Number 25 of the season. Here it is on StatCast AI, presented by AWS. And here he takes the ball. It's 1-1.
Very rhythmic swing. It wasn't one of his aggressive kind of violent swings. It was just a solid swing that he knew it was gone.
High drive, center field. Back goes Desmond onto the track with room as this one comes crashing down, and it stays tied at 2, through at 6. In left field for the first base runner of the game for the Rockies, with 2 gone in the 4th. Only 2 base runners total tonight, but both those hits have left the yard. There was Arenado's and there was Blackmon's to tie it in the 6th. Here's Arenado's.
Breaking ball. One of the few off-speed pitches that Walker has thrown, and a rare one that gets hit for a home run.
Two and 1. At the very least, Walker Buehler giving the Dodgers some length on a night where they really needed it. If you include Julio Urias as part of the bullpen, even though he started yesterday, last 2 games, Dodger relievers have thrown 17 innings. That's foul, and it's 2-2.
Walker knew coming into this game that they needed length. And when you know that as a starting pitcher, the best way is not to conserve energy. The way to get deep into a game is to get quick outs and be aggressive.
He gets Arenado and has matched his season high with 11 Ks.
You go easing into an outing where they need 7 or 8 innings out of you for sure, saving energy for the late innings. You might not ever see them if you're saving stuff. So you've got to be even more aggressive than normal and get it done quickly to get that length.
Do you have to learn that the hard way? Do most guys have to experience that the hard way?
I did.
Yeah. 1 out, tie game in the 7th. Daniel Murphy, first pitch breaking ball just misses, 1-0.
The other place you learn it is in the really hot games. You know, you're pitching in that 95 to 100 degree heat back east with the humidity, and you're like, oh, I better walk slow today. I better do this. I better slow everything down, save my energy. Go about your business as normal as you can, but when you get on that mound, do things quickly, get your team out of the heat, and attack the strike zone. Be as aggressive as possible.
Towering fly ball, but he got under it. And this is no big deal for Cody Bellinger, who makes the catch. 2 gone. Been a little funky tonight on a couple of the fly balls, I think, for both of us up here. Arenado and Blackmon, their home runs didn't seem like a sure thing off of the bat. Bellinger's fly out to finish last inning off of the bat looked like a sure thing to go than those 2.
Yeah, you're sure right, and the sounds were about the same. It seemed like the exit velocity was real close, but yeah, Bellinger's didn't go as far as we anticipated.
McMahon down the line to left, but it peels out of play.
But the one thing Bellinger's was, it was to one of the deepest parts of the park, and Arenado's was needed to go about 365, and Blackmon's needed to go about 340. Bellinger's needed to go closer to 380, 385.
One and one on McMahon. Has struck out both of his at-bats tonight and is 0 of 11 lifetime against Buehler. A little bit high, ball 2. On a 2-1 pitch, McMahon swings through it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Fastball up the ladder. Breaking ball in the dirt.
Did he go? He did, and Walker Buehler with a dozen strikeouts tonight, matching a career high. 2-2 game as we stretch at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers won in the fourth. Rockies solo runs in the fourth and the sixth, and we're tied at 2 to the last of the 7. Joe Orlandolana and Max Muncy to lead off this inning against German Marquez. He's making by far his best start here in June. That drops a little bit low. Ball 1 on Muncy. Marquez came into this game with an ERA north of 10 this month, but appearing to get back to the form that he had early on this season here tonight. 24-year-old out of Venezuela whips a 1-0, and Muncy sprays it foul, 1-1.
He's had a very good spray pattern tonight. The slider has been sharp. He hadn't really hung many pitches, and the curveball and the slider need to be his most effective pitches. Right there, the curveball. Really the weakest pitch as far as competitively has been the changeup. Fastball's had good action and velocity. Hasn't been many mistakes with it. Rocky's been giving multiple signs, no matter if there's a man on second, third, first, nobody on.
1-2.
That can be for 2 reasons. The multiple signs with nobody on. Keep your pitcher in a rhythm, thinking that way. Instead of it being a shock, all of a sudden a man on second, what signs are we using? We just use them throughout the whole game. The other reason is a little bit more devious.
A 2-2 pitch, and Muncy swings through it. Strike 3, 1 gone.
Dodger fans, nothing says Independence Day like hot dogs and fireworks. This July 4th here at Dodger Stadium. Treat yourself to both when the Dodgers take on the Padres, a 6:10 start with holiday fireworks presented by Budweiser after the game. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Hot dogs, fireworks, and baseball.
Just need some apple pie.
Yeah. Scoop of ice cream, a la mode, on top of it.
Yeah.
A 2-2 game in the 7th. Here's Beatty, who is 1 for 2. It's one of the 4 hits for the Dodgers against Marquez. He misses low with the first pitch slider. Strikeout of Muncy was number 8 tonight for Marquez. He signed when he was 16 out of Venezuela by the Tampa Bay Rays. And it came to the Rockies in the Corey Dickerson deal. That's popped off of the hands into shallow right center field. Desmond comes on and puts it away, 2 out. And Marquez now in his 3rd full major league season. Mentioned it off of the top, but signing a long-term contract this spring with $43 million that has him wrapped up for the next 5 seasons. So it kind of goes back to that idea we're talking about. They have to get guys, as far as pitchers, that come up through the system that they can control. And in the case of Marquez, they're doing all they can to keep him around as long as possible.
It's really hard for a free agent pitcher in his prime to want to sign with the Colorado Rockies.
Here's Saylor. Strike 1.
The veteran you're going to get that has the character to come to Colorado and put up with the rough games that are happening, you know, maybe a lot more often than you're used to, is the guy that's probably on the tail end of his career thinking about, this is one of my last opportunities, and you know what, I'll go there. It'll kind of be like, all right, I guess I got to go there now. But to get somebody in his prime, you're right, they're going to have to draft them, develop them, and bring them up on their own, and have a nice crop of 4 to 6 of them come over a year to 2 year period.
Off the end of the bat, Marquez has it, and he's retired 10 straight through his 7 in Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers and Rockies tied at 2.
Top tier plays are brought to you by Walker Buehler and Arco, and Walker Buehler has been on his game. lighting it up to both sides of the plate with that electric fastball. The breaking ball and the slider have been on. He's got 19 swings and misses. The fastball, most of them, the slider, some of them, and the curveball has been a put-away pitch too. It's been a joy to watch him. Just those two little blemishes, long fly balls that barely cleared the fence. He's in a 2-2 tie, but he has done an outstanding job.
And in the month of June, he's given up a total of 3 runs, all off solo homers. Ian Desmond leads off the 8th for the Rockies and takes ball 1. In the month of June, opponents are 12 for 100 against Walker. His strikeout to walk ratio is 38-1. His 1-0 pitch. Grounded gently to third. Max Muncy charges and glides and throws Desmond out. And now Rogers. Buehler's at 90 pitches. Season high is 102. His spot due up second in the bottom of the 8th.
He has protected the bullpen tonight. Now he's going to need his offense to protect the bullpen, get a run, so there's no extra work down there.
First one to Rogers is tap foul.
Back on May 15th, Kenta Maeda struck out 12 Padres. That's the high water mark for the season for the Dodgers. Buehler now tying it, but one more strikeout and it will be his mark.
Quickly ahead, 0-2.
I'll take the over on 12.
Yeah, I will too.
Well, that's no fun.
I'm not going to go against you on that. I'm going to go against him.
I'll just give you 12. You already got 12.
Here's an 0-2. Got him swinging. A new career high for Walker Buehler. 13 Ks against the top offense in the National League.
Not with the fastball, but with the slider. But you take it any way you can. And you know what? When you're going around the batting order a few times, you've got to have multiple ways to get him out. And Walker Buehler sure does have that.
2 up, 2 down, 8th inning. On the 13th strikeout of the night for Walker Buehler. Now he delivers to the 8-hitter Tony Walters and begins him with a fastball strike.
None of the 7, 8, and 9 hitters have put the ball in play.
Jeez. Oh, 2.
Still.
I'll take the under again. What a night it's been. Popped up left center field. Matt Beatty's there. Walker Buehler, a new career high 13 Ks. He goes 8 innings at least tonight. Can the offense get it going for him? Tied at 2. Tied at 2 in time for the Nissan Dodger calendar. 3 games of the Rockies over the weekend. Tomorrow's game exclusively on Fox. Big game Sunday, then it's back to the road. 3 in Arizona and 4 with these Rockies in Denver. This place is jumping. Hoping that the Dodgers can break through against German Marquez. 2-2 game as Austin Barnes takes ball 1. 8, 9, and 1 coming up, and yes, Walker Buehler is in the on-deck circle.
I hope he gets a great ovation coming to the plate, maybe going back to the dugout and coming out to the mound in the 9th.
Chopper to short. Candy Hop Rogers. Barnes is out number 1.
Walker has put on a show tonight. He has not thrown one pitch tonight from the stretch. That's special.
It is really, really close to being a perfect game at this point.
Exactly.
2 pitches.
A few feet. A foot on Arenado's ball, and maybe, what, 6, 8 feet?
On Blackman's?
On Blackman's ball? A few feet from perfection.
Instead, because of the relative lack of offense and because of the game Marquez is pitching, it's a much different tone than it seems like it should have with the way that he's dominated. Tied at 2, bottom of the 8th. 1-0 pitch.
Trying to win it with his bat, too.
Wouldn't that be something? He could do it. He's got one against St. Louis earlier this year. It remains his only hit in 2019. On a 1-1 pitch, he watches a fastball miss away, ball 2.
That's the type of swing that could turn this game around for him. One more like that.
That's all. 2-2. Pitch count at 88 for Marquez. Looking ahead to the 9th inning. His spot is due to lead off. And then Blackman, then Dahl. Hit sharply into center field for a base hit. This night belongs to Walker Buehler. A career-high 13 Ks and now a base hit in a tie game in the 8th.
Contact. Little shortened up swing. We saw some more aggressive kind of home run swings, but that swing he barely completed. After contact, the bat came to a stop, but he hit it right in the right spot. Now all he's got to do is steal second and get driven in.
Again, that's all. Well, he's in scoring position already because Jock Peterson is at the plate. Jock has one more single this year than he does homer. 21 singles, 20 home runs. Tied at 2 in the 8th. Peterson takes very high, ball 1. How explosive has this start to the season been for Jock Peterson as far as the long ball? Remember his rookie season, how big of a deal that early tear was? He didn't hit number 20 as a rookie until June 29th. He got number 20 this year, yesterday. Go ahead, run it first. Here's a 1-0. And ball 2.
His rookie year, he was playing off against lefties at times too, right, early in the year. So this is in less at bats, but predominantly right-handed pitching.
Jairo Diaz has warned a couple of times. Here he goes again. And one of the first times tonight we've seen a 2-0 count against German Marquez.
But Black asked for this visit to give the bullpen some time.
Les Lonely Boys and Ozil Motley live July 12th. Good times.
Dodgers don't want to go to the bullpen because it's been taxed lately. Rockies don't want to go to the bullpen because it's really struggled lately. 2-2 game, 8th inning. 2-0 pitch to Jock Peterson, who swings away and skies it to right. He loves those pitches that are up, but this one a little bit too far up, and Blackman's got it, 2 gone.
Up around his shoulders and just got under it. They look so juicy to all hitters, but especially to Jock.
Buehler at first, 2 gone, and it's Verdugo. Alex 1 for 3 tonight with a first inning double. September call-up 2017. Alex's first big league home run came against these Rockies. It's Adam Ottavino. He's got 5 long balls this year. Swings away at the first pitch here, and a little tapper to first that Murphy will take to the bag to end the 8th. On to the 9th, tied at 2.
Better than any pitch, and it will be fun to watch him pitch tomorrow. Walker Buehler tonight, he's the best pitcher on the Dodger staff. He's the one with the ball, and he has thrown the ball in a tremendous manner.
13 Ks, career high, tied at 2 as we go to the 9th inning. And the 2 runs are the only 2 base runners against him. We talk about him being very close to being perfect. 2 swings the difference. 2 swings and about a foot right there as Arenado homered back in the 4th, and then in the 6th, Blackman with a little more distance to spare.
About 16 feet from perfection. No pitches thrown from the stretch. So he is still in the windup right now.
Night officially over for Marquez as Raimel Tapia pinch hits and looks at a fastball high 1-0. First pitch of Walker Buehler's career in the 9th inning. He's at 97 pitches now. Again, his season high is 102. His career high is 105. That's a strike of the knees, 1-1.
13 strikeouts, 6 with fastballs, 4 with curveballs, and 3 with sliders. He's had everything working. One and two on Tapia.
Next pitch will be number 100 for Walker Buehler, who as a junior at Vanderbilt had a 124 pitch complete game in the NCAA tournament. That of course was before the Tommy John surgery.
That was with a ligament that was starting to fail, and he was pitching through pain that nobody knew about, including his head coach, who found out about it later and then ended up thanking him for how tough he was.
Same guy that pitched with a broken rib for a few weeks last year. Outside and 2-2 on Tapia. And the Dodger bullpen, it's Pedro Baez. Margin for error, none. He got him with a fastball that hits 98 with his 102nd pitch tonight.
Feel like you're watching a young Tom Seaver, a young Nolan Ryan, a young Dwight Gooden. Which fireballer do you relate to?
14 Ks for Walker Buehler, and now the Rockies get their 4th look at him. Charlie Blackmon extended his on-base streak to 31 games, hitting his 8th home run in his last 11. Here he corks a line drive base hit to right, and the first one that he sees. And the Rockies have the go-ahead run aboard in the 9th.
Charlie Blackmon is red hot. He's the one having quality at bats against Buehler. He's the one with the base hit and the home run.
David Dahl, he's 0 for 3. Homered against Buehler back in April. Strike 1. About to match career high with this next pitch, number 105. It is strike 2 on Dahl.
The first one at 94 was a little backdoor cut piece. That was the fastball right there. He's not getting tired. The fact that he's been in the windup almost the whole game, a lot less wear and tear from the windup than there is the stretch.
Breaking ball that he offered at, and 15 strikeouts for Walker Buehler.
Curveball, looks like a fastball, ends up a breaking ball in the dirt, and that's a swing.
And Dave Roberts not budging from that seat. Pedro Baez ready to go. Walker Buehler at 106 pitches, ready to face Nolan Arenado with a go-ahead run at first and 2 gone in the 9th. First one, strike 1 to the top of the zone. Ball one.
A matchup you would pay to see, and you'd pay even more to see it in the ninth in a 2-2 tie.
Man.
This is a great advertisement for Major League Baseball right here.
Buehler's 1-1 pitch. To the knees for strike two.
Tried to go cutter away. It ended up being a backup cutter right at the hollow of the knee for a strike.
Nolan doesn't get cheated.
They were going up the ladder and they missed a little low, but he missed a little low too.
And so it stays at a ball and 2 strikes. This is tied for the most strikeouts in a game in the National League this season. He's sitting at 15. Here's 1-2. He struck him out. 16 Ks from Buehler.
Tomorrow, when the Dodgers host these Colorado Rockies and receive a Kike Hernandez jersey tee presented by San Manuel Casino. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
And now the Dodgers trying to get Walker Buehler what he deserves, and that is a win in this game. 16 Ks, the most by a National League pitcher in 2019. But the game is tied at 2 as it moves to the bottom of the 9th. And the pitching change brought to you by BioFreeze. Anybody but German Marquez at this point, with 8 very good innings from him. Here's Jairo Diaz facing Hernandez, Bellinger, and Muncy. First pitch of the night. Big rip and a foul tip, strike 1. He's trying to end it right there. That's high, and it's 1-1 on Hernandez, who is hitting in Justin Turner's spot in the order. Turner ejected back in the 4th. The 1-1 pitch. Went around 1-2. One-two pitch. Down and away, and it's 2-2.
Taking a shot at him early in the count to go deep. Great idea. Now that it's 2-strike count, try and find a way to get on.
Couldn't lay off, one gone.
Number 35.
Really good tight slider. Tough to recognize in time to hold up. That's why the awkward swing.
Cody Bellinger clubbed his 25th home run of the season earlier tonight. Hit sharply on a bounce to second and gloved by McMahon. They'll throw him out, 2 gone. And here comes Muncy. Max extended the on-base streak to 30 games earlier tonight with a base hit back in the second. It's one of the 5 hits for the Dodgers tonight. They got 1 in that second inning. So he came in to score on a sacrifice fly from Taylor, and they got 1 in the 4th on Bellinger's homer. Nothing since. Down the left field line, foul.
This lineup is so complete and so much power. And what that brings to this stadium, the anticipation with every swing that the game could be over.
On the 0-1 pitch, Muncy takes it low and inside, a ball and a strike. Max has 17 home runs this season. It's good for 3rd on the team behind Bellinger's 25 and Peterson's 20. Could end it with 1 more. Takes a fastball to 98 off of the plate, ball 2. Muncy can get on. Matt Beatty will come up here in the 9th inning. Otherwise, Murphy, McMahon, and Desmond coming up in the 10th. On a 2-1 from Jairo Diaz, Max Muncy looks at a fastball strike, and it's 2-2.
Well, this is a point in the game when the anticipation of the players matches the fans. Any fly ball, everybody's eyes are going to be on it. The noise level in here is going to rise because the fans are going to anticipate a home run and something exciting, and the players are right along with them.
Top stepping it there in that dugout, ready to explode if Muncy can do something. The 2-2, and Muncy hits it foul. In there tonight, despite the ankle really hurting. Fouled the ball sharply off his front foot in last night's game, but checked with the training staff. They said, look, we know that it hurts bad, but you can't hurt it any worse. And he said, say no more. I'm in there. Just tell me how to wrap it up. Tell me how to compress it. Make it feel as good as we can. So it's with that bum ankle that he tries to win the game. And he's worked the count full against Diaz.
Bill Madlock used to say, a guy who won a lot of batting titles, slow feet and fast hands, that's the way you hit. Well, you get one off your puppies, that'll slow your feet down.
One of the best fastball hitters in the sport. As Diaz dare give him one. On 3-2, here it comes. Outside ball 4, and the winning run reaches in the 9th inning to bring up Matt Beatty. One for 3 tonight. And just a couple days ago, Matt Beatty was technically sent to Oklahoma City, but with Josh Sborz placed on the injured list today, it just so worked out, like Dave Roberts said. Thank goodness his flight wasn't scheduled to leave until a little later today, and so they were able to get him right back. Plug right back in the lineup. The rookie Beatty takes ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Beatty drives the ball to center field and deep. At the wall. It's gone! Matt Beatty, walk-off home run! Lexus play of the game. Beatty's walk-off home run. His second home run as a big leaguer. A bullet to right center that just gets over the wall. And his first day back in the big leagues, he joins Walker Buehler as co-heroes in this one tonight.
His first will be the most memorable. His second will be the most exciting. And boy, did he deliver a blow that gave Walker the W, and these Dodgers walk off with one more win here at home.
They've now won 27 of their last 32 in this ballpark. They are a Major League best 52-25. And so while Beatty wins it, tonight will be remembered by Walker Buehler in 16 strikeouts, the most for a Dodger in 23 years since Hideo Nomo did it. For Oral and Alana and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers.